Welcome YouTube to my 1 year review of the 29-gallon air compressor from Harbor Freight. And in that year, I've been using this compressor for so many things. One of my favorites. Every now and then I need to use one of these. I like to do maintenance on my own vehicle, so for me it's a perfect tool for so many uses. And after using this compressor for maintenance, washing, cleaning, drying, I have about 2.2 hours of use. And of course, I don't run a shop. I just use this when I need it. So far, no problems. The unit looks like the first day I bought it. I don't see any corrosion in the tank. The paint is still like the first day. I live in Florida and there's a lot of humidity, and this thing is in the garage, and I haven't seen anything that'll make me worry about it. And this being an oil lubricated compressor, there's a lot of moving parts, and upon inspection, belts, the fans, the bolts, the washers, I don't see any corrosion. I see a little bit of dust, but nothing to really make me concerned of the unit. If you want to have your compressor running reliably and no problems, stick to the owner's manual and the maintenance schedule that tell you. So this is the main oil that you will need to use, and just change it when the manual tell you. You will see a lot of people posting online to change it every 3 weeks or crazy stuff. Just follow the owner's manual and you shouldn't have any problems. And of course, before you use it, just check the oil. It's not a big deal. It's not like you have to open the lid. It's out there, it's very visible. It takes a second. And just to make my life easier, I made some mods. The drain valve on the bottom, if you open that valve and that water gets to the concrete and dries in the concrete, you can't remove that stain. It stays there pretty much forever. So I put a hose, and with that clamp, it does the trick. And right after the regulator, I installed a bolt valve. You can get them on Harbor Freight. They're very cheap. A lot of people use the regulator to use it as a valve, so you will damage the internals if you do it all the time. This is just to regulate the pressure. It's not to really use it as a valve. So if you need to remove the hose, close the bolt valve, remove the pressure, and the hose will be extracted from the attachment very easily. It's not a violent pop, and to put it back is the same thing again. You will see how the pressure will lower when you open the valve, and then it'll equalize after you release all the air into the hose again. The other thing I did, I purchased a hose reel and I installed it on the wall, which is extremely convenient. You don't have to carry that hose around, and it retracts very quickly. It's really convenient. I haven't had any problems with it. I don't have any leaks. So by the time your work is done, it takes just a second to put the hose away. And if you need to use an extension cord, like it happened to me, get the extension cord with the same gauge as the cable that comes from the unit. If you use a smaller gauge, you will reduce the area for the current to flow, and most likely you will trip your breaker box, so it won't work. And I see that on a lot of reviews online, and people don't know about that, so I mention it here For some people it's obvious, but for a lot of people it's not, so that's why I mentioned it. While we're talking about extension cords, if you need to use a long extension cord, that could be another problem. So you need to know how many amps your breaker is, and my recommendation is to get one of these units that you can plug to the wall, and you will have a reading on how many amps you have while operating the unit with that extension cord. On this case, my breaker is 15 amps, and I plugged the unit and I ran it, and if you can see here, the reading is about 13 amps. So as long as I don't plug anything else on that circuit, the breaker box is not going to trip. So this is a good thing to know and a good tool to have. So if you have a long extension cord, watch out your amps. If you're looking for an air compressor that is reliable, that is quiet, and you can use it in your garage for whatever your needs are, I highly recommend this unit. I've been using it for a year with no problems and no complaints. Nobody complained in the house that, hey, you have that air compressor running and we can't even have a conversation. It's extremely quiet. So thank you for watching my videos, and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.